Hello, people. How's it going? Yes, chocolate milk with rum in it. Not a lot of rum, but enough. Anyway, this is just a review of my writing project I did last week. It wasn't too bad a week, actually. It was fairly productive for a change. I'm, I haven't had a productive week in a long time. Not since, what, February? Maybe March? I think it was February. So I'm trying to get back in that normal writing routine. Supposed to have a thunderstorm today until tomorrow morning or sometime. It's cloudy, but it isn't raining yet. But anyway, but um, I'm still working on that short story. A rough draft I wrote. This one. This was written in 2008, 2009, so it's kind of an off and on thing. But I'm rewriting it onto my blog site. But it's going well. It's going pretty well for the most part. It is a short story. It is a ghost story. I'm going to have to do a lot of editing and rewriting and a little and cutting a lot of what's already in the original rough draft because it's too long and too wordy. It's a ghost story. It's just basically about a haunted Catholic school church. Um, I liked it when I wrote it. Hopefully, it'll be better. Because when I reread it, I found a few things I didn't like, mainly because I think it needs to be changed somewhat, the plot somewhat, and some of the dialogue, and a few other things. But for the most part, it was a rough draft, so I really do view these things as rough drafts. So, but I did a little work on that. I think I got about a few hundred words down on that story. But it's one thing I worked on this week. The other thing I worked on, well, and me and my friend Natalie, she also likes to write. So we have this 2 week challenge where we pick a subject and we write a story about it. We sort of challenge each other, sort of edit each other, sort of review each other, and sort of whether we like it or not. And this writing challenge was on Haunted Road. Just a story, any story about Haunted Road. Mine is the cross on the side of the road. Where you see the memorial crosses. I see them all the time because I ride a bike. She hasn't told me what she's writing yet. I mean, it will be about a haunted road, but she hasn't told me anything else. This story will be about a haunted road. I leave it a little ambiguous whether he's actually being haunted or his conscience is haunting him. I mean, I think Natalie will figure it out. She usually does, but at the moment, it's about halfway done. It has to be under 2,000 words. That's one of the rules that we have for this writing challenge that we do for each other. It has to be under 2,000 words. Has to be done within 2 weeks. We were doing it a while ago, and then we stopped. And we're starting up again. But this will again be a ghost story, maybe. I haven't quite figured out if I want it to be an actual ghost story or actually guilty conscience story, or both. But I'm writing this one. I like this story. This story seems to be writing itself pretty well. A lot better and a little bit more faster than the last one I just discussed about Remember Me story. But this story is going faster, mainly because I think I have a better idea what I'm writing. I'm always curious about those memorial crosses on the side of the road, whether there's a ghost standing there saying, "I'm still here." You put a cross here to remember me, but I'm still here. So, um, this one should be done by the end of the week. It has to be done at the end of the week because this is the second week. The other one doesn't have to be done until, well, probably hopefully the end of the week, but it may be a little longer. The other story I'm dealing with is from one of the flash drives, flash drive number 1. One of the earlier stories I wrote almost 15 odd years ago, called All Too Human. It's not a ghost story, I promise. Not a ghost story. It is a family story. It is a family dynamic story. It can be considered a tragedy, I suppose. It can be considered a lot of things. It's a father, son, mother's daughter, and mother's husband divorce story. Um, it is about the ramifications of. See, a lot of my stories take place in the church. You have to understand that. A lot of my stories do, and a lot of them don't. This one does. This one is a church kind of based story. It takes place within people who go to church. A lot of my stories are like that. But this one, I'm going to have to rewrite this one too. And a lot of these stories I'm rewriting from the flash drives are old. I mean, they are older. They're 10, 15, some of them 20 years old. Some of them are very old. I had to rewrite them, which is why it takes longer to rewrite them because I'm having to do a lot of editing, a lot of changing, a lot of removing, and just sometimes just rewriting it. But this story is basic. It just really is just a basic story of sons not forgiving their father for divorcing their mother, the ramifications of him having an affair in the church. He was a pastor, other odds and ends, and I'm trying to figure out whether I should keep them, edit them, or just completely remove them. But those are the three stories I've been dealing with all week, up to a point. Mostly with the second one I mentioned. That one seems to be more of my interest at the moment than the Remember Me or the All Too Human story. I have been thinking about writing boredom. Almost forgot that one. Boredom is this story, a rough draft that I wrote in 2008 also. This is a science fiction story. This might have been one of the very first sci-fi stories I wrote, I think. I might have written some earlier ones, but this is the one that I'm going to have to change the title. The title is dumb. I may change the title. I will change the title. Excuse me. It is about a flight to Venus, encountering alien life. So it's a basic story that's been done before, but I was trying to write sci-fi. I'm still trying to write sci-fi. I don't write it well, I know this. But at the same time, I like trying to. I am not Ray Bradbury or Isaac Asimov or Arthur C. Clarke or H.G. Wells or Jules Verne. And I'm sure I'm forgetting a whole bunch of other sci-fi writers I like. Alan Dean Foster. I like Alan Dean Foster. He may have been one of the very first sci-fi writers I would read whenever I could find his books, along with the Stainless Steel Rat series. But anyway, I am thinking about starting to put this on the flash drive. I mean, not flash drive. On the blog site, I might start doing this next week, not this week, after I'm done with the other three stories, or at least one of them anyway. But, see, I wrote this when I was living in Lexington, so that was about 10 odd years ago. So, almost 10 years. Somewhere around there. I'm not a math guy, I'm a history guy. But I want to rewrite it. I'm just not sure it's worth it, which is why I'm giving it a week before I actually do it. I do have a few 10-minute studies in history I'm thinking about doing. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be on yet. A lot of these things I have just been procrastinating from doing, and it's my fault. I mean, it has taken a long time to get back into my normal writing mode of thinking. It has taken a long time. February was the busiest month, and I really haven't written much, not really, since February. Well, not as much as I know I could be writing. I know I want to do a book review on this on my blog site. It's a good book, by the way. I just haven't gotten to it because I'm lazy. Well, I'm not lazy. I just keep putting things off because I let other things get in my way and I overthink things. But I have other writing projects I may or may not do. But I am certain I'm going to do the boredom one. The way I'm going to change the title. When I wrote it originally, boredom made sense. Now it doesn't make any sense. All Too Human. I should have that one done by the end of the month. Across the side of the road, I need to get done by the end of this week. I think Natalie will have her story done by then too. And Remember Me, I'm going to try to get it done this week. but it's not mandatory I get this one done this week. Because I also want to get back to doing my 10-minute studies on the various subjects I like to do, like writing and history and books and natural history. And I ever since Penny died, I have had a very hard time really getting into wanting to write. I've done some, just not a lot. Just not a lot that I wish I had. I wish I'd written more. I just couldn't do it. I was just overthinking things and feeling miserable too much, and other odds and ends. Um, well, um, that's basically been my week of writing. I mean, I have done a lot of reading. Of course, I always do a lot of reading. I mean, let's see. What books did I bring to work? What did I? Oh, yeah, I brought some of my haunted heritage, haunted America, haunted heartland books. I love reading those books. Yeah. Those stories fascinate me, which is why I like writing them. But a lot of times, the ghost stories I write really isn't about a ghost, but the person haunted by something else, mostly their conscience. I love to write about the psychology of things. Natalie, if you'll read her stuff and read mine, you'll realize we really do have two different styles. Her style is sort of like the 50-yard dash, and mine is sort of like the a marathon. It's just the different style we have. She's more into go go go, and I'm more into why did they do that? What were they thinking? What were they pondering? But I mean, overall, it hasn't been a bad week. It hasn't been a bad last week of writing. I got some stuff done. I didn't get a whole lot done. I mean, I did want to get more, but hey, I'm getting back into the routine of it. That's all that matters to me. Well, it does have storm clouds out there. They're coming. They're coming. I hope so. I don't have to go to work tomorrow morning, so I won't be home unless it's not raining and I'm going to go to Half Price Bookstore and spend money on books I shouldn't buy. I love books. Okay, well, like, share, comment, subscribe. Behave yourselves, people, because you know I'm not going to. I just don't know how.